Hi, I'm Holly. I am glad you're back in my kitchen. Let me talk to you about something I've been talking to a lot of people about. So, I had some shifts happening in the last few months for myself, and I started making some changes about 10 months ago. But I got real hardcore with it this past spring, and everything started to move. So, one of the things is high fat carnivore. I'll put a link for that video beneath my in the show notes. But what I'm going to talk to you today about is a modified Lions diet. So if you've heard of Michaela Peterson and Jordan Peterson and her mom Mary Peterson, they're all doing the Lions diet. They had to go to extreme measures to shut down their autoimmune disorder, but their story is miraculous. It is breathtaking. It is beautiful. I love this family. They are fighting. Even though they're not Americans, they're fighting for us in America, and most of their people, I think, are following them from here in our region. So I am going to talk to you about how I took that protocol and tweaked it for me. So what I found about 4 months into carnivore is that I don't do well with pork, I don't do well with bacon, and I don't do well with chicken. I thrive on beef, 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 double beef, baby. That's the way I say it to people. Double beef. Both your meals built around beef. Beef and eggs. I have some ideas and tricks for that. And pot roast or beef hamburgers or steak for supper or steak bites. Have a video for that. I'll put that down below. That's one of my family's favorite things. We make that at least 3 times a week. So double beef. Modified Lions diet. Let me tell you how I'm doing this. But first, I just want to tell you why you want to do this. I've been autoimmune since I was positive for Epstein-Barr when I was 16 years old. I spent half of my junior year in a bed sleeping 17 hours a day. I had a homebound care where a teacher would come to my home twice and 3 times a week to teach me my lessons. She didn't really do a great job, and I got really behind. I caught up the next year, and I'm a fighter. So anyway, after that, whatever health problems I had before then, which was plenty, just went manifold. And if you have ever been positive for that virus, you'll understand it wreaks havoc on your immune system. So I became autoimmune before autoimmune was cool. So we're talking about, I don't think it's cool, it's devastating. But in the 1980s, nobody talked about autoimmune disorders. You know, people were rarely diagnosed with hypothyroidism. Some people would be diagnosed with hyper, but hypo, neither one of them were talked about. And I'm an RN. I've been an RN for almost 40 years, graduated from the Medical College of Georgia. So I'm talking from a medical mindset about health. But I'm not promoting what you're getting in the doctor's office. I'm promoting what you can learn as an armchair researcher. An armchair researcher is you're on your couch, you're in your chair in the kitchen, you're researching and you're learning how to heal your body. That's me. So I've been on that journey for a bit, but let's talk about the Lions diet, modified Holly style. So what I found is when I double beefed, beef for the first meal, beef for the second meal, I felt better. But is that sustainable? Like, really? And I hadn't really delved into much with Michaela Peterson at this point. I had, but now I binge on her and a few other people. We won't even talk about all of them. But I did it by accident. I was working as a camp nurse that first summer that I was carnivore. And the most convenient thing for me to take for 2 meals a day was hamburgers. So my husband just blew up the grill and cooked me a bunch of hamburgers. And I just bagged them up, microwaved them. I'm not a fan of microwaves, but whatever, it worked. So I didn't have to eat the camp foods because I was there 12 hours, 14 hours a day. So I felt great that week. I should have felt horrible. Horrible. But I had hundreds of campers that I was the nurse for. So it was a busy week. That felt great. So fast forward, I'm not doing camp anymore. I did 2 camps that summer, and both those weeks I felt great. And it was just for convenience because I couldn't think of anything else that was easy. So anyway, fast forward, I go a few months ahead and I'm trying to eat what everybody in my family wants because that's what I do. They're like, oh, can we have chicken today? I'm like, sure, we can have chicken. I made chicken and I'm eating eggs for breakfast or yogurt. And I'm not eating a lot of meat during the day. I'm just eating eggs or yogurt or both, and sometimes sausage, which is pork. And so somewhere along the line, the light went off. I'm not thriving on pork. I weigh myself not to see if I've lost weight, but to see if I've gained weight. Because with my body, when my body says, I don't like this, I hurt, The joints start hurting, and I get puffy and my rings get tight instead of spinning because, I've lost quite a bit of weight, so my rings spin. But when my rings don't spin, I'm putting on weight. Well, that is your body saying, stop in the name of love. This is not making you thrive. So, I am a bit of a researcher. This is the way the Lord wired my mind. So I'm dialoguing with the Lord, and I'm like, Lord, I don't understand. Why does my body not like pork? Why does my body not like chicken? Well, I'd already heard about ruminants, and that's in my book that's about to come out. I have a whole chapter on the ounce of prevention. So I just wrote up a whole bunch of stuff about ruminant meats. So meats that are ruminant are red meats: beef, bison, lamb, goat. There's some other ones. Venison, I don't like venison, but I would eat it if I were hungry. So ruminant meats are meats that are being digested through a long digestive tract that happens to have multiple stomachs that are fermenting everything that went in this end. So what happens when you ferment something, even if you're fermenting it on your counter, I have milk kefir over there fermenting right now, is the germs go in there and they take that food and they make it more bioavailable. They increase their population, which is your friendly bacteria that heals your gut. But they also scrub, they clean up what you put in. By the time it gets into that body, even if what went in was grain, it scrubs it and cleans it up. And so by the time that pot roast ends up on your table or that hamburger ends up on your plate, it's a cleaner meat. And my body was saying, hey, pay attention to the Peterson family. They got this, ding, ding, ding. And I thought, wow. Okay, I'm going to try. So, by day 9, I'm like, I'm sick of beef. I don't think I can do this. So, but I stayed with it for several months. And then all of a sudden, this is when I had the massive shift. Now, I learned about Dr. Elizabeth Bright also during that time. And she was talking about good fat is good for women. So I was like, okay, upping my fat. And I do have a high fat carnivore video that's probably going to come out before this one. And so I was like, okay, upping my fat, this was having impact. Upping my beef, this was having impact. The swelling was going away. And my 4 or 5 month weight stall, where I was staying the same, all of a sudden, I just lost like 15 pounds in a month. I'm like, dear God, have we hit something here? And I was so delighted, and I thought, well, for sure, I'm going to lose another 15. Well, I did not. But I kept losing weight. It didn't stop. So when I started increasing my exercise, I had about 6 weeks where I didn't lose anything, but I was toning up and my clothes were falling off. And I was like, okay, who cares what the scales are saying? My rings are spinning. I'm clearly not having inflammation or swelling. The double beef is working. It's like beef in the first meal, beef for your second meal. I do bone broth. Bone broth is great. Michaela Peterson is also doing bone broth. I tolerate dairy beautiful. We primarily do fermented milk kefir, have no trigger with that. We make it ourselves. We've got a video for that. I'll put that down below. But that's also ferments going into your body. And what is that doing? It's making your food more bioavailable and more digested. So that promotes good digestion in every human's body that can tolerate it. Now, if you don't tolerate milk at all, you may find you can tolerate milk kefir. So don't give up on it. I was dairy-free for 10 years. So I do milk kefir great. I do grass-fed butter great. I do grass-fed milk great. Cheese, grass-fed Kerrygold. I do stay with grass-fed because it has no triggers for me. If I am eating other things like cream cheese that's organic, it's not grass-fed. I don't even think we can buy grass-fed cream cheese in America, but if we can, I'm unaware of it. But that was triggering inflammation for me. Now, how do I know I'm getting inflamed? Weight, tightness in my rings, puffiness in my face, bursitis. I've had bursitis chronically for over 20 years, 23 years, until 12 weeks ago. So, Lion's Diet, modified. I am including dairy. Now, if you don't tolerate dairy, don't put dairy in. But if you haven't tried milk kefir, try milk kefir. If you haven't tried grass-fed butter or grass-fed cheese, try those. They're great. But my Lion's Diet, for that about 5 or 6 months where I was like, wait, there's something going on here. I've got to do this. So for several months, I did it nonstop. The only thing I would modify was with dairy that I was tolerating, and bone broth. I was doing regular and collagen fatty lattes, videos for all that stuff. will be down below, and of course on my playlist on my website. On my YouTube channel. So what did I modify? Okay, so I modified it Monday through Friday, double beef. Monday through Friday, beef for breakfast-ish. My breakfast is usually about 1 because I do intermittent fasting. I try to keep my eating window about 8 hours. Some people do 6 hours. If you don't know about intermittent fasting, just put it in your search engine and you'll learn a lot. But what it does is it pauses your digestion for a 18-hour-ish window, and your body goes into healing mode. So it's a very powerful tool, but it is a tool. You don't have to apply everything at once. So don't feel like just because I mention it, you should do it. Don't. I didn't do that. Okay, so, all right, so double beef, 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. I had hamburger for one of those meals, pot roast or steak bites for the other, and sometimes I had hamburger for both because Aldi's has had their grass-fed 80/20 hamburger on sale for months for $3.99 a pound. So what do you think I have stocked up on? And what do you think I'm eating a lot of? Now, make sure you're adding some grass-fed butter to your plate. So you can cook it however you wish, but when you serve it up, put a big tablespoon of grass-fed butter on there, and that's going to keep your fat up. Women need more fat than men. And most of y'all that are following me are women, and most of y'all are my age. So I'm going to talk to y'all. So what has happened is the weight started moving. My tone started increasing. My autoimmune disorder started to heal. So I've put that in our 500-day update, and I've mentioned it along the way, but I'm at the lowest dose of thyroid medicine that I have had since they first started me on it. When they first started me on it, I was on more than what I am now. But all I've had year after year has been dosage increases. I've never had decreases. So I've had decrease after decrease after decrease to where now I dropped one of the medicines because I was on 2 different ones. That's how unstable my thyroid was. But that's what's happened with my modified. So what am I doing on the weekend? Am I going ghetto? No, I'm still doing beef once a day, but we'll have seafood, wild caught. We'll have chicken, organic. If I eat chicken, it's organic. My family, they eat chicken multiple times a week. And what I do is, I make a burger. And I eat a burger when they're eating chicken. I'll eat a bite of the chicken. I'm not going to deprive myself. It's not like I'm going to die if I have a bite, but I don't thrive. Pardon me. So if you want to thrive, then do the modified Lion's diet. Now you might need to do it full blown. This is kind of a teaser. Check it out. Miraculous. Ruminant meats heal. Fat heals. The Lord told me probably about 3 months in to our healing journey is the healing is in the fat and the meat. You need both. But he said fat first, and I didn't get it. You would think I'd have paid attention. If he mentioned something first, it might mean something. Well, Elizabeth Bright says the same thing. You need fat over protein. It doesn't mean in place of protein, but you need more of your calories coming from fat than you do from protein. So what she often does is she takes a snack of grass-fed cheese and a little bit of grass-fed butter. Now, when I say a little bit, I don't really mean a little bit. I mean, she just, dips it. She'll take beef jerky and dip it in butter. Butter is it's her fat of choice. It is actually my fat of choice. I cook with ghee, I cook with beef tallow, but when we're adding fat to our table, we always have soft butter sitting at the table, and everybody knows that they're adding fat to their meal, their final meal. It's not the fat that it was cooked in, but the fat that we're finishing it with and eating it. And you can just cut a slice of butter and just eat it if you want. But anyway, so I think that's all I need to say about the modified Lion's diet. So really you're double beefing 5 days a week, and on the weekend you don't really have to do, you don't have to do beef on the weekend. You might thrive with those 10 meals of beef. And on the weekend you can start adding other. Initially, I couldn't add anything. When I found out that my body hated all that other food. Now I started this January, got real serious about it a few months in. But yeah, I've been able to add back in bacon. I have bacon a couple times a week. Pork belly, I didn't have much of a trigger with, so I've been able to eat that. Pretty regular beef trimmings, I've done great with, no problem with that. So I've been able to eat that as soon as we discovered that. And chicken again, if I'm eating it, and on the weekend we do usually a whole chicken, and that usually is organic and pastured. But yeah, That's what we're doing. That's what I'm doing to shut down my autoimmune disorder and move my weight loss stall. So now I'm right about 20 pounds left and I'm at my goal, and then I'll try to maintain that for a bit and start saving up for skin removal. Yes. So I don't know. It's kind of costly, and my insurance is like, yeah, right, that's not a priority. So we'll see. I mean, it's a goal, and it might take me a while to get there, but we'll see. So I do have a link for our website down below. I have an affiliate link for a generic affiliate link for Amazon. So if you want to support the work of Midwest Meanderings, and also if you want to know that our book has been released, sign up for our emails on our website, and all the links for all that will be down below. And thanks for dropping in. God bless you, and I bless your healing journey. Take care.